Hey guys! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're catching us from. I'm Alyne of Laser Crafts PH, and today I'm very privileged to have the time with a friend who I've known for such a short period of time pa lang, but she has been a very big source of positive vibes for me and uplifting energy. And I am very honored because she's an expert in international sales and leadership. And she's an advocate of self love and excellence as a lifestyle. So, guys, today we'll have a casual conversation with our coach and cheerleader, Rachel, Grace, and Pedro. Welcome,
Hi
Rachel.
everyone! Wishing you all a beautiful Sunday, even if it's quite a rainy season now in Manila.
That's right. So much rain has been pouring the last few days, and I hope everybody who's watching us now is not affected naman so much by the weather. So, yeah. So, how are you feeling muna, Rachel? How are you feeling today? Rach? Hello, Rachel. Rachel, medyo nakat tayo,
Hi!
naglalag. Ayan. How are you feeling today? Rach? Ayan, because of the weather. I think it's because of the weather. That's why the internet connection is a little bit problematic.
But no
Rachel,
worries.
there you go. Yay!
Yeah, no worries. I think it is the internet because of the rain, but we'll
Correct.
try to have as beautiful, casual, relaxing, and hopefully inspiring casual conversation with all of you.
Yeah, that's right. So Rachel, today I usually start the casual conversations with three statements from the guests. So tell us three statements about you and we'll guess. Two doon sa statements are truth and one would be a lie. So let's give us three statements about yourself and I will guess and the people who are watching can also guess which is a lie among the statements that you'll give. So go ahead.
Sure, this is so fun, Alina. I really want to do this two truths and a lie. So my three statements are first of all, that I have such a case of wanderlust. I've traveled to more than 30 countries in the world pre-pandemic, 33 to be exact, and some of them I've gone to on a second or third time, a repeat time. The second
Okay.
is that I just recently got engaged. And the third is
Wow.
that I am a woo-woo sister. I believe in the power of the law of attraction, in doing vision boards, and in energy and crystals.
Alam mo yung first, I feel like because of your your experience internationally, I feel like 30 baka totoo eh. Kasi 33 countries, 30 plus countries I know, parang na-mention mo na before in one of the masterminds with another sa Project Wealth Being natin. I'm not sure kung tama nga lang yun. Tanda ko na 30 plus countries. And the third, I think it is true because you're full of energy. So I'm sure it helps if you're really a believer of energy and mga ganyan. Yung second, I'm not sure kasi sinabi mo baka magulat ka sa Sunday eh. So, pero I'll take my chance. I'm gonna say the number two is the lie. So the first and the third are truths.
Correct. So that's the future truth. Statement number two.
Correct. Totoo yan. Tama yan. Claim natin. Future truth. So tell us more about the first. What country, ano yung favorite country mo? Yung pinakamadalas mong napuntahan?
Sobrang dami. I really love to travel because I feel like when you go to a different place, you experience a different culture and lifestyle. That's when you learn a lot. You expand
Mm.
your perspective by seeing how people in other parts of the world live their daily lives. And I have a lot of favorite countries, but I would say among the top of my list are Dubai. Dubai is such a contradiction of tradition and the old world, right? together with so much modern technology, and they have the tallest buildings, and they have so much
Yeah.
innovation. I also love this town in Switzerland called Lucerne. It just has
Mhm.
a very beautiful small town feel to it. And then I went there on a snowy December. So that was
Wow.
really, really, really beautiful. And I would say as well, Australia. And that's where my brother is living right now. So I hope that after all of this and getting vaccinated, bakuna blouse ready, I
Yeah.
can visit Australia again in the future.
Yay! Ang galing. So, Dubai, Switzerland, saka Australia, yung top three mo.
Yes.
I haven't been in any of the three destinations, so I'll make sure to put it in my bucket list.
Also a future truth, Aline. So,
Oh, yeah. Claim
ina-affirm na
natin
natin
yan.
siya. Yes.
Correct. Future truth, that's correct. Okay, and then the third statement that you mentioned, you're a woo-woo sister. Ako din, pero hindi pa ako masyadong hardcore. Pero I believe that everything is energy. And parang ngayon pa lang na-awaken yung awareness ko about it. Can you tell me more about what you are into regarding that space?
Yeah, I think it really started when I invested a lot in my self awareness and in my personal development. And I really resonate with the concept of the secret, with the law of attraction. And it stuck with me because when I tried the small practices, like the practice of gratitude, like visualizing through a vision board, doing meditation and mindfulness, it worked for me. And so I was able to see the outcome. And that's why now I am not just a believer, but I am an advocate of those practices.
That's great. Ako din. So, medyo nagsa-start pa lang ako, baby pa lang ako dun sa area na yun. Pero I feel that it's also very effective for me. That's why I'm getting my hands on a lot of different stuff relating to that topic. But for now, sige, let's dive into the topic of our casual conversation.
Game.
Kasi Rachel, I really see how much you do parang self-love practices. So, I want to find out how did you come across that um, concept of self-love and how do you practice it? How's
Okay.
your self-love journey?
So I want to share this with everyone who's listening to us right now and also those who will catch us on Team Replay. Hello everyone. Feel free to drop your greetings and tell us where you're from so we can share a beautiful Sunday conversation. I am into self love because I believe that love, the best kind of love, really comes from the inside. So,
True.
for me, it is difficult to be able to be a person who is exhibiting love, excellence, empowerment, and inspiration if it's not coming authentically from you. That's why I am still on a journey. I wouldn't say that I've mastered it, but I'm enjoying self love because I'm seeing that the more that I apply kindness and grace to myself, the more that I challenge myself, the more that I invest in my learning, in my development, the more that I surround myself with good people in a theory of space, it's going back. So the more that you fill your own heart, your own life, your own energy with self-love, you get to be in a position where it overflows, where it radiates to others. So I feel like if you want to be someone who is inspiring, leading, and loving others, you have to first and foremost start with loving and leading yourself.
Alam mo, I sobrang agree with what you said. And I want to emphasize that self-love is not just parang coloring your hair or mani-pedi. Kasi di ba yun yung medyo naging trend 2019, 2020 na love yourself by creating this, parang, mag-light ka ng candle and that's it. Or have a spa session for yourself. They feel like, or they claim it as self-love. But self-love, that of course it is. It's a form of self-love. But what you mentioned just right now is going deeper into really loving hindi lang yung physical body, but more on the emotional, more on the spiritual, more on the mental side of your body, parang ganun. So I love what you mentioned and I love
Holistic.
Yeah, holistic, correct, tama. Yun, tama. Ang galing kasi I can see
Yeah.
that in you.
Thank you. Um, to give a tip to everyone, actually self love really is a journey. As Alyne said, maybe sometimes you can start with level one, which is practicing self care. But the more that I am getting into this awareness, into this practice, I realized that self love is really all encompassing. That's why it also includes accepting the ugly truths, the ugly side of yourself. It's
Oo.
knowing how to protect your space, how to regenerate your energy at the time that you don't feel like you're at your best. It also means setting boundaries in terms of relationships so that you get to have a good energy and good interaction with people. So when we talk of self-love, indeed it's so holistic. It's everything that we allow into our mind, into our hearts, into our bodies, and what we give back also to others.
Mm. So that's great that you mentioned also that self-care could be level 1 and there's the
It's
next
a good
step that you
start.
can take. Oh, it's a good
Yeah.
start. Oh, nice. Okay. And then what I noticed about you also is that you don't just emanate parang self-love, but you have this very positive self-image. I say that because there were two instances.
I
First was
receive.
that oh, may time we were talking and then you said, parang I go on dates with myself because I feel like I am my best. I'm the most interesting person I know. So, sobra talaga tumatak sa akin yung sabi ko, parang gusto ko siyang i-embody rin na I'm the most interesting person I know. And the second one is that during a LinkedIn Live, parang basta there was this live with
An
Cassie,
interview.
an interview, and then you mentioned, someone asked na parang what if there's self-doubt, and then you said, maghanap ka ng karapatan. So I feel that it's coming from a sense of security of yourself because you have this very positive self-image. And I was wondering where you got that from. How were you able to develop that? Because a lot of people are struggling in creating that very positive sense of self, and it's very crucial for them to build that so that it can also translate with the work that they do and how they show up for the people and for themselves.
Okay. Thank you. So just to confess, I'm not always happy. Believe it
Yeah,
or
okay.
not, I'm also very much human like you and our viewers that I go through the ups and downs. And there was also a time that I struggle with my identity, with my sense of self. But I think what was the magic or what was the cause behind this positive self-image? Three things: myself, my loved ones, and God. So, in terms of myself, I realized that I cannot control the things that are happening around me. So, for instance, this pandemic, for example, there were two times in my career that myself and then the other myself and my team were made redundant. There are really going to be challenges in life, but I can either be a victim of that situation or I can see myself as a fighter, as a winner, as someone who's not getting it done in a perfect way, but doing her best. So I have
Mm.
that inner voice or inner cheerleader telling me, are you going to let this external situation dictate what is the state of your happiness, the joy inside your heart? So I've been asking myself, I've been making a conscious effort to be my own cheerleader. The second, and I think we've talked about this before, I am so grateful that I have so many loving people around me that they are also the source of inspiration for me. So I want to say a shout out to my family. My parents are such amazing example, my tita ninangs, my cousins, the entire Letter to a Sister, as well as the Excellence in Motion community are really people who inspire me on the daily. They give me a reason to be doing what I do and to be sharing my messages because I'm seeing that they are appreciating it and it's enriching their journey. So parang give and receive kami. I give, and also I get back the learnings, the energy, the affirmation from them as well. And the third is God, because He's really the best example of what excellence looks like, of what loving yourself and letting that love flow to others 100%. So I feel like it's coming from my own inner voice, but also it makes it easy because the people around me and also my ultimate, the
Correct.
God the Father, are the ones who are allowing me to have this kind of, it's not a feeling, eh, it's a decision, it's an intentionality to choose to frame things in this way.
Great. Doon, alam mo, I took away something that it's a conscious effort to build that
Yeah.
positive self-image. It's not something that will just parang bigla na lang nandyan. It's something that you need to work on. It's a conscious effort that you have to work on it every day. And,
Yun sa kwento mo, ay
oh,
sorry.
sige, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yun sa kwento mo, Aline, na parang someone was asking, what if you are not feeling like you're enough or you're getting imposter syndrome? And then I told them na humanap ka ng karapatan. I said that because you could either listen to that negative self-talk, you could listen to that disqualifying yourself by the standards of the world, or you can do something about it. So this is what we're talking about, that there is an intention also into how you want to live your life. And at the end of the day, we are responsible for our life, for our feelings, for our results, for our energy. So that's where the conscious awareness and the effort to choose what is healthy, to choose what is hindi lang kasi positive, eh, more of authentically uplifting and inspiring to you in your self-talk and your talk to others.
Yeah, that's right. And I also just want to point out how I've seen the people around you support you. Kasi I was there in the launch of Rachel's 5-star leadership, and I saw how much support she got from her family. So I just want to really echo back that really family and the people that you are surrounded with somehow shape you in creating also that kind of confidence that you have in yourself. So as a parent, I'm taking that
Definitely.
in, and I am going to consciously build also the self-esteem of my kids, self-confidence of my kids in the way that I can. Because I've seen that
Yes.
it can really affect how one perceives oneself.
Give them opportunities, affirm them, allow them to explore their interests. So me and my cousin, we would be the ones who would be singing, who would be dancing when there's a family party or
Uh,
celebration. I told my parents, even they were a bit uncomfortable at first, I'm going to work and live abroad. They supported me. You know, I'm building a community. They're joining the event. So it starts from that also. Family
oo.
definitely is a great source of encouragement and love.
Oo, great. And then, while we are here in this topic of self-love, because in Laser Crafts, we create gifts for people, customized gifts, thoughtful gifts. And I just wanted to find out what is the best gift that you've given yourself and the best gift that you have received from people around you.
Oh my gosh, ang dami! Because I love gifting myself. You know, you're quite familiar with the love languages, right? So I
Yeah.
practice that for myself and for others. Like, I would write myself letters. I would write others letters as
Talaga?
affirmation. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
I would date myself, which is basically time, gifts, affirmation, right? Sometimes it involves also like the spa, facial, so touch. Ang dami talaga, you know. And even I invested in myself. I had a fashion marketing and merchandising course that I put myself to school just to be able to explore my interest. There was also a time that I bought myself a 5-star ticket and hotel to Palawan, to Puerto
Oo.
Princesa for you know, just to enjoy. So ang dami kong gifts to self. But
Oo.
if I would pick what is the best one, that's my gift for self, I think it's forgiveness. That was something that is not so easy or accessible to me before, because I was such an achiever and I want things done by a certain timeline in a certain manner. So in the recent years, having things not go the way that I want them to go, but still be able to celebrate myself and my wins. I
Mm-mm.
think that's quite a recent but very meaningful gift that I was able to give to myself. In terms of the biggest gift that others have given me, I really feel like it's the support, because they are, people call me coach and cheerleader, but I have so many cheerleaders in life, not just from my family, but my previous colleagues, our circle of empowered entrepreneurs, also people from the coaching space and the community. So I feel like people's support really means so much to me, and I can't
Mm-mm.
thank them enough for that.
Mm, that's great. Actually, para ang takeaway ko from you, the gift that you experience or the gift that you give yourself are more like experiences, no? Hindi masyadong material but more on experience. And then
Yes,
from others, it's the feeling of being supported, not material, but more on the feeling that you enjoy because of what they give you. So, ang galing-galing, Rish. Tapos, so, because I also know that you, aside from being an advocate of self-love, you are also an advocate of embodying excellence as a lifestyle and leadership. I want to find out how you fell in love with those two concepts, leadership and excellence.
okay. So I feel like personal leadership and excellence are very connected to each other.
Okay, it's the internet again. So everyone, we apologize for the technical problems. Please bear with us because of the weather. I think it's because of the weather that the internet is having some connectivity issues. But just to reiterate, guys, one of my key takeaways from Rachel right now is that it doesn't have to be material when we are giving gift to people. Just being a
Hi.
cheerleader for them. Oh, there, you're back. So, ina-echo ko lang, Rachel. While there's an internet connectivity issue, I was just echoing what you said, that giving gifts does not necessarily mean that it has to be material. Giving gifts as an experience or just being there for them energetically as a support is already something that people can really appreciate, and it could be even something that they can really the best gift that we can give them. So yun, in-echo ko lang. So anyway, going back
Definitely.
to
Yeah.
our question, how did you fall in love with the concept of leadership and excellence?
Yes. So for me, it all starts with the best excellence and leadership is really personal.
Yeah,
Of loving self and leading others, I feel like it's perfect because it's really so connected with each other. That the way that we love ourselves and that we show up for ourselves is by challenging to give our best. That's where the excellence comes from. And then the things that you do in terms of leading others, the results that you have, what is the ikigai that you're pursuing, it still feeds and goes back into the self love. So that's very interconnected for me.
correct.
And
That's
I
true.
yeah, and I realized this, that giving your best, going full out, is a way of life. That's why I'm always saying that excellence is a way of life. And I'm always quoting Aristotle that says that excellence is the pursuit of happiness. So for me, excellence is really
Waiting for your ratio to get reconnected. So Aristotle's line, Aristotle's
yes.
quote is,
Sorry, I think it's the rain, but buti na lang.
yeah, I think so too. It's
Buti na lang
okay.
hindi kami
It's okay.
nasi-stress ni Alyne.
Oo naman, Sunday afternoon talk 'to, 'no? Casual conversation lang 'to. And I just wanted to get to know you better and have people be with me as I get to know you better. Kasi Rachel talaga, sobra akong amazed with the people I'm surrounded with. I'm so amazed with you as a person. So I want really to get to know people that are really influencing me positively. That's why I created this casual conversation. So that's okay. Don't stress about it. It's just the rain. It's the weather. We can't do
Yes.
anything about it.
Bear with us, everyone. We'll try to give you as much as we can as our internet allows. And
All
actually, I
right.
want to honor, yeah, I want to honor you also, Aline, because for creating this space, and also you're someone who's showing up always, sharing your messages. Even your questions are super insightful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So anyway, going back, Rachel, naputol yung internet when you were talking about Aristotle's quote.
Ah, yeah. So I always say that excellence is a lifestyle. It's not one particular achievement or accomplishment, and then we already rest on our laurels. Excellence is not an act but a habit, because I feel like it's in the small things and also in the big things how we show up in our full energy daily. And it's so interrelated because doing in a small thing also feeds into how you show up with the major things in life.
That's true. That's true. And yung isang curious ako, Rachel, kasi because you are the proponent for this kind of this parang thought process. That's where I got it from you, because I attended your 5-star leadership launch, and you mentioned this, that leadership is parang mastering relationships, delivering results. I want to find out, when you have a good, parang a very deep love for yourself, how does it translate to your relationship with other people? Maybe for your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your peers. How does it translate?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Kakapit po kami ang internet
Kapit
namin.
naman.
Bear with us. Yes, we're just, as Elaine said, we're just gonna have fun. Thank you. So your question was about how does it translate, right? So in my thing really is to become an excellent leader. And an excellent leader is in the way that you are felt, you are experienced by your clients, by the people in your team, in your organization, and also by the way that you are experienced by your stakeholders. So it's not a rank for me. It's not a specific how much 6, 7, 8 figures you're making in the bank. Leadership shows up in the way that you are experienced by others. So I'm doing my best to escalate and to elevate my level of leadership. And how that translates is now because of my experiences, my philosophy, and the way that I want to conduct my brand of leadership, 5-star level of leadership. I'm able to share that with my mentees who are also now either current leaders or aspiring leaders, that they can also do that. Kasi it
Mm-mm.
means so much when a leader is in the right energy and they really have a vision, a strategy, and action that translates to not only the results but also the team camaraderie in the sense of fulfillment of the individual members and also the entire organization. So my life purpose is to empower and mentor and support leaders to become at their most excellent, so that that experience can have an impact to the people they work with.
Mm-mm. That's great. So it's really about showing up for yourself and showing up for the people around you, so that you can generate the results that the business or the um company needs. So we have people also joining us today.
Hi!
Si Morte Urbano Alenica and another one, but hindi ko makita yung name niya. So sabi niya, "Hi, Coach Rich." Yan. So thank
Hello!
you for
Thank you
being
for
with us
watching.
today. If you have questions, guys, feel free to comment them so that I can ask Rachel about it. Pero yun, so I really feel privileged to be in the same circle as you in the mentorship program that we're in. And what I always see from your branding is that you're coach plus cheerleader. So co-cheerleader. What does that mean, Rich? Kasi I I know, parang for me, separate concepts, no? So I want to find out from you, how did you come up with that kind of branding and what does it have to do or how does your mentees benefit from having a two-in-one, a coach and a cheerleader in one?
Gusto ko yung two in one. Okay. Actually, it's not so much a branding as feedback. The ones who came up with Coach Cheerleader are my mentees. So it
Ang
didn't come from me.
galing!
Yeah, they
Oh,
started
galing.
calling me, you are my coach and cheerleader. And then I just put it together as one word, Coach Cheerleader Rich. It's because when we talk about a coach, especially now that I'm into transformative coaching. I'm a neuro-linguistic programming or NLP coach. People nowadays, the reason why they're asking for a coach is because it's kind of like this person who can help you to strategize, who can help you to get what's really your thoughts, what are your insights, what are the things that you want to do, and take control of your life, work on the present and the future. So this is very different from a psychologist, although definitely we respect the work of psychologists. Pero people nowadays are getting more and more coaches because parang sa basketball team, di ba? Parang the coach is the person who is helping you to understand what are your next moves, what's the play, and they're also increasing your self-confidence and also doing the things to enable you to play at your best. And then yung cheerleader naman kasi, I really feel like in any terms of relationship, even if it's a business and leadership, coaching, or mentorship that I do, the personal relationship is so important because earlier we talked about how I'm able to show up because I have a lot of people supporting me. Everybody needs a cheerleader. A world without cheerleader is, is lacking that certain level of care, that level of openness, that rooting for you to be at your very best. So I'm combining it because I feel like from both a strategic, practical, as well as a relational aspect, it's so helpful. And yeah, I love the name. I'm doing my best to embody it, and that's really how I want to show up because it's both the relationship and also the results that matter most.
That's true. And yeah, I think you're embodying it. And I just want to parang flesh it out that you're not just strategic thinker for your mentors. It's not just telling them a game or parang just coming up with a game plan for them, but it's really believing in them and letting them know that you believe in them because sometimes it just takes parang someone believing in you for you to really do certain things that you've been afraid to do, that you've been doubting yourself if you can really do it. But if someone just believes in you and affirms that you can do it, minsan yun lang yung kailangan para mag-click and they can do what they wanted to do. They've long been wanting to do. So, it's great that
Exactly.
holistic na naman. Ang galing-galing kasi holistic yung approach mo. It's not just
Pero
yung,
parang
oh,
it was also organic. So it's holistic,
yeah.
but it was also organic. So that's also the reason why I came up with the letter to a sister community that is based on affirmation and empowerment. Because if you think about it, right, parang all of us, we have a limitless potential. We are so capable. Like in your community, right? We are dreamers, we are doers. But sometimes that's really all it takes. Just for someone to say, I believe in you, go ahead, you can do it,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you,
Yeah.
and to cheer you on. So that's what the letter to a sister community was founded on. I realized that it is so powerful to affirm ourselves and to affirm other people, and we celebrate the wins together. Isn't the world a much better place if we are in a energy, if we are in a space where we always celebrate and affirm each other?
Yeah, that's true. And Rachel, I want to ask you something. It's not it's not something that I prepared for you, but I know that you've been a practitioner of affirmations and you've been teaching this practice to people. Yesterday kasi I have this group of people and we were talking about affirmations. We were parang, affirm yourself in the mirror, tell yourself that you're beautiful, parang ganyan. And you were parang talking, how do you make it realistic for you? How can you make affirmations work for you? Because I've also heard from people and some audiobooks and books that say that no affirmation doesn't work on everybody. But can you just give us an idea on how we can make or how we can make affirmations work for us, and what are effective practices for us to get the most of the affirmations?
Okay. Thank you. This is one of my favorite things. As you said, I'm an affirmation advocate. So let's make it simple. Let's scale it back and break it down. Affirmation is basically self talk. So that's all it
Mm.
is, right? Affirmation is self talk. It's you talking to yourself, whether that's talking to yourself using your voice, audio, you're writing something, visual, right? Or you're putting some reminders across your space.
Yeah.
It's basically the way that you talk to yourself. What I would say for people who are starting or feel uncomfortable or unnatural in terms
Yeah.
of affirmation is you can pick a simple example. Just check in with how is it that I talk to myself, and then you turn that into a positive affirmation. So, for example, you are in a moment of you have to make a decision and you feel, oh, I'm so scared. I might make the wrong decision. People might say this or that about me. What if this? What if that? You have to catch yourself. So it starts with awareness because that is a moment when you are talking to yourself. Unfortunately, that's a negative self belief. So if we're going to use as a practical example how affirmation can reframe that conversation, that inner dialogue. So we acknowledge that yes, there's a decision to be made, and yes, these are the things that are at stake in terms of this decision. How you can use affirmation without feeling weird about looking in the mirror or claiming some things is simply to talk to yourself in a simple, effective, but positive way. I am
Mm-hmm.
capable to make this decision. Whatever my decision is, it's not necessarily right or wrong. It's not better or worse. Pero papanindigan ko this decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am divinely guided. So there is no way that I'm going to miss the blessings and the right opportunities for me. Those are already affirmation, but it doesn't have to sound fancy. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be complex. It's not woo-woo. It's simply talking to yourself in a way that would affirm a healthy, positive, truthful decision about yourself. So that's what I would advise. When you are in a moment that you are having some doubt, some hesitation, or a negative self talk, stop yourself and think of what is a new conversation that you can have with yourself. Affirming ourselves means believing in ourselves and being the people who would reinforce what is the truth about our limitless potential.
Grabe, Rachel. Sobra siyang aha moment for me. Do you know? Kasi ang affirmation, natutunan ko siya from my mentor, Dan Locke. Meron kaming affirmation that he recorded, tapos we have to say it out loud so that we can condition our mind. Pero now that you were unboxing affirmation, like it's really just awareness of your self-talk and turning it to a more positive version of yourself. Sobrang ano, parang light bulb moment. Di pala kailangan na parang hindi kailangan na positive statements na paulit-ulitin mong sasabihin sa sarili mo. It's more on just being aware of what you tell yourself about yourself and trying to find a more positive way to frame it para you can believe something about yourself to be more positive. So yun yung sobrang galing kasi
Thank
sobrang
you.
simple. Sobrang simple na hindi, basta yun nga, ang akala ko before, affirmations, may mga statements ka na sasabihin about
Hindi,
yourself, hoping na mag-sink in siya. Yun yung
may ano
affirmation for
rin,
me before.
Yeah, there's
Oo.
also a science to it. So, valid din yung sinasabi mo that there's power in repetition. But I'm
Oo.
saying lang na parang break it down to something simple because for me,
Yeah.
affirmation is simply a truth about yourself and what is it that you want to reinforce. So, shout out to this member of our community who said, oo nga naman, ang affirmation is self-dialogue. That's what it basically is. So, what I would say, every time that you find something to be intimidating or too complex, bring it back to the why. Why am I affirming myself? It's to gain confidence. It's to see what are the sides of the situation and what is a positive choice that I can make. It's to enable you to take action. Same as with excellence. I said a while ago that excellence is not an act but a habit, that it is a lifestyle. So, if we get into the habit of having a positive, healthy, and empowering talk with ourselves, and that's the way that we always talk to ourselves, that's where the consistency comes in. That's where the power of declaration comes in. That's how you start to attract and manifest your greatness and the blessings. So, it all starts with you and the choice that you make.
Oo, grabe, ang galing. So, yan, bagong perspective for me that I got from you today. Thank you so much for that. And then, I was also gonna say, yung isang affirmation, the concept that I came across, si Jen Sincero sa You Are a Badass, sabi naman niya, affirmations are just reminding yourself of your greatness because we've been conditioned for so long about the negative things about us, which are lies. So basically, affirmation is just removing the lies from your head and reminding yourself about, tulad ng sinasabi mo, your infinite potential so that you can
Yes.
pursue your purpose, pursue who you are meant to be because you are removing the lies that have been conditioned in your head. So that's what
Yeah.
she said about
Aline,
affirmation.
if I may,
Go
I
ahead.
want to say hi to the Greatness Tribe. I'm going to give an example because that was a question that was asked to me in one of our affirmation practices, yung mindfulness session, that someone said, right, okay, whether it's negative or positive, it's still affirmation just by, if we take the technicality of the word affirmation, right? Why is it always positive? So I have that same perspective that it's not it about being positive because nowadays there's also something called toxic positivity. So it's glossing things over, it's saying for the sake of. So we also don't want you to get into the habit of toxic positivity just to say that you're affirming. What Aline and I are pointing to is that affirmation is truth. It's removing negative self belief. It's removing lies. So, a simple statement like, I am worthy, I am enough, that is a affirmation. But would you believe it? Sadly, there are a lot of people who find it uncomfortable to say, I am worthy or I am enough. Probably because they got it in their head, this kind of comparison, all the standards of the world, all these burden on their shoulder with self expectation and pressure, which is not realistic. But when we break it down, that you and I, that everyone in this room, everyone watching us, everyone in this community, that we are all worthy, that we are all enough, that is the truth. That is a truth that was created for us by God, even from the first moment that we came into this world. And no one and nothing can remove that truth. That's why affirming your worthiness, that you are enough, loving yourself enough to listen to that greater voice, to you being put on this earth for a purpose, it's not just affirming yourself, it's honoring your truth and it's acknowledging how beautiful life is.
Galing. Ang ganda. And I think, is if there was also one takeaway that I hope the people who are watching us right now can get from this, is really just to be more aware about our thoughts, about what we tell ourselves, because that will ultimately spell how much we will love ourselves. It will show with how we show up for ourselves. It will
Mm.
show with how we show up for our work, for our careers, how we show up for the teams that we are leading. Dun talaga nanggagaling sa awareness. And eto, do you want to to read it for me, Rich?
So a member of our community says that strange thing, I just
Ah.
realized that using Tagalog affirmations ring true and stronger for me than English ones. So because affirmation is a self dialogue. So I would say that you can not be so stuck on the structure or the format, but more of what will deliver this in a very effective and authentic way for me. So we talk
Mm-mm.
about affirmation as speaking to ourselves kindly and lovingly. Maybe a good litmus test is this the way I would talk to someone I love? So for instance, you're finding it difficult to tell yourself na, ang ganda mo girl, but with your sister, with your friend, definitely you want to celebrate them. You want to let them know, even if they're thinking, oh, I'm not at my ideal weight. Oh, I have pimples. But you, right? You recognize what is the truth in this situation. You would want to tell them, no, despite in spite of your flaws, ang ganda mo, girl. That's an example of something that you would say to someone. So, in the same way, talk to yourself if it means in your local dialect, if it means that there's a lambing to it, if it's more
Mm-hmm.
effective for you that you write it out, if you want it in affirmation cards, whatever way works best. You are perfect in saying that, Kat, that it's not required a certain format. What it needs to be is it has to ring true to you. A good affirmation is one that resonates with you at a heart level. Because the moment that you believe it, there is power in speaking it. You are now declaring it because it got not just in your ear, but in your heart, and you're able to speak it out.
Mm-mm. But it's also a journey, Rachel, no, to find out how it can really work for you, the affirmation and the gratitude practice. It's really, we can understand it in a conceptual level, but it's really until you do it yourself where you will find what's the most effective way for you to have a more positive self-talk, which is really affirmation. So, um, right now, I want to ask Rachel because I want to thank you for your time that you spent with us today. But we also want to give back, and I was just wondering what's the biggest project that you're working on right now that the people who are watching us might be able to support you, to contribute, and tell us how.
Oh my gosh, ang dami. Okay lang ba tatlo? Ang
Go
dami
ahead.
palang ganap. Ang dami ko palang ganap as your coach,
Sure.
cheerleader, and mentor. Okay, so shout out to the members of Excellence in Motion community and the Golden Circle of Dreamers and Doers. If you want to be part of my group coaching for five-star leaders or one-on-one mentorship, simply connect through Excellence in Motion and follow our LinkedIn page. So there I talk about leadership, which is all about impact, and that it doesn't have to be lonely. It can give you joy and a sense of fulfillment. For Letter to a Sister, there is one of the many foundations I support, Akay Missions Philippines. And this August 2021, in my birth month, we are going to be having a creativity and livelihood project with them. Alyne, as the Chief Creative of Laser Crafts, will be joining, and also May of Mulaki May. She created the Letter to a Sister scented affirmation candles with me. We will be having an event this August 2021. So if you're interested to join, of course, safety protocols observed, or to donate, or to give something to help our teenage girls with their confidence, with their creativity, and their empowerment, just feel free to message myself and or Alyne, and we'll be doing that project for Letter to a Sister. And the
This
third
August.
one,
Oo.
Yes, the third one, because we were talking so much about affirmation, so I remembered that we have an anniversary edition of Infinite Headspace. It's a three-part mindfulness practice. So we're doing breath work, we're doing guided meditation, and we're doing affirmation for a holistic practice. So it's gonna be our first year anniversary or of Infinite Headspace. It's happening on 8/8 at 8. So 8th of August at 8 p.m. And I will share later the link if you are interested to join that mindfulness circle.
Oo, share mo kasi it really feeling ko step one is awareness, and awareness can be enhanced with those things that you mentioned dun sa infinite headspace, right?
Yes. Yung
So yun.
practices na yun talaga. And
Oo.
definitely if you want to follow me, you can connect with Coach Cheerleader Rach on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. And I want to give a shout out talaga sa mga communities namin. Lasercraft, Golden Circle, Excellence in Motion, Letter to a Sister, because there's so much power in community. This is why Alyne and I are doing this, because by talking to each other, by supporting and empowering each other, mas madaming na-achieve together.
Oo, oo
Right, Aline?
naman. Of course, of course. So, as we wrap up, Rachel, so I just want, of course, I want to thank you for giving your time. Sobrang bedweather Sunday, tapos we're here and we're showing up for, not just for ourselves, but for the people we serve. And alam mo kanina sa feast, I attend kasi the feast online, and it was just about giving what you have, and God will do the rest, parang to make it miraculous, parang ganyan. So, and the other lesson I took away from the feast today is to put people first before things. And this is my way of really just parang connecting to the people in my network that maybe the other people don't have access to, para they'll also understand yung thought process, yung values of people that are influencing me positively, para somehow they will also get the ideas, somehow they will also have this awareness, the thoughts that can spell a difference in how they do their day to day. Kasi tulad dun sa infinite headspace, breath work, meditation, and affirmation, these can be very simple practices, but they're not easy. But
Yes.
I'm sure that the effect of these practices is gonna be meaningful. It's gonna add depth to your day. It's gonna add depth to the life that you live. So yun. Just for the final words, Rachel, can I just ask for tips from you on how we can love ourselves better, how to cultivate more nurturing relationships, and third would be how to um, just be examples of leadership in motion.
Thank you. It was really a fun time and a privilege for me to be speaking about loving ourselves and leading others. So the tips that I want to impart to our viewers now, thank you for tuning in, and also to Team Replay are the first is it all starts with your why. Ground yourself in terms of why you are doing things. Is the purpose to be able to serve your community? Is the purpose to be able to use your God-given talents like creativity, such as Aline with what she's doing? Is the purpose because you are blessed, then you want to share these blessings and enrich the lives of others? So it all starts with your why. And the second, you are your first, your best, and your most ardent cheerleader. So start
Yeah.
changing the way that you talk to yourself. Talk to yourself as kindly, as gracefully, as lovingly as you would to someone that you love. And third, show up and share. So, like with this, we are showing up for you. We are sharing what it is that we know out of a hope that we can resonate and we can connect with you. If you learned something, feel free to type it in the comment
Yeah.
box. Feel free to
Yes.
connect with us and just keep sharing it, because the world is going to be so much brighter when we have people who share out of a deep sense of self love, and when you get to your next level of personal leadership.
That's right. I really love the concept of self-love, filling your cup from within and letting it overflow as you serve your community, as you serve in your business, or as you serve in your career. So thank you again for your time, Rachel. I hope the people who are watching us were able to take something away from the conversation that we had today. And guys, in Laser Crafts, we are committed to excellence, and we're already preparing for our Christmas gift giving edition. If you have things that you have in mind and would like to explore with us, if we can make it happen for you, don't hesitate to reach out to me through Facebook, Laser Crafts PH in Facebook and Instagram, and let's find out how we can make these gifts for you and for your loved ones. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank
And
you. Super excited ko, Alyna. So just message myself and or Alyne if you want to contribute in our creativity and empowerment project
oo,
in August.
sana yung mga people can support that project. For the kids, for the teenagers who are
Of
ano nga ulit, of
Akay
Akay.
Missions Philippines, France. They take care of children who have been abused, maybe economically, physically, sexually. So let's give them hope by empowering them with creativity, with business ideas, and having them fill up on their self worth and their self love.
Oo,
And yeah.
totoo yan. Okay. So thank you again, Rachel. Thank you, everybody. So I'll catch you again for the next edition of Alyne's Casual Conversations. Bye, guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
Sunday. Thank you.